Hey there, coin collectors and curious minds alike. Did you know that this little penny right here, the 2018 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, is currently worth over $1.1 million? Yep, you heard that right, a penny worth $1 million. It's not a typo, and no, I haven't gone crazy yet. But seriously, I bet you're wondering how on earth a modern penny could be worth that much. Well, stick around, and I'll walk you through the story behind this incredible coin, its crazy value, and how you might just have one sitting in your jar of change at home. Alright, let's talk about the 2018 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny. At first glance, it probably doesn't look any different from the pennies you've been throwing into your wallet or using to scratch off lottery tickets, but the key here is rarity, condition, and a dash of good old-fashioned luck. 16th President freed the slaves, delivered a speech at Gettysburg, and, oh yeah, got his face plastered on a penny. But the 2018 D-Mint Mark? Well, it's more than just another year and another batch of pennies being made. The story behind the 2018 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny starts with some, let's say, unexpected circumstances that catapulted its value. It wasn't meant to be rare. It's not like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die, those are classic coin rarities. The 2018 D? It started as just another regular release from the Denver Mint. But sometimes, when coins are minted in certain ways or happen to have a unique flaw, they can become exceptionally rare and valuable. The 2018 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny gained massive value due to its accidental rarity. There were some major errors in the production process that led to a few batches of these pennies being struck with unique characteristics, whether it was an off-center strike, a die crack, or a mysterious doubling. These small imperfections might not seem like much to the untrained eye, but to a seasoned coin collector or investor, it's like finding a rare treasure in a pile of rocks. We're talking about one-of-a-kind imperfections, folks. And don't get me started on the condition of these coins. I mean, have you ever found a penny that's actually in pristine condition? Usually, they're all scratched up or, at best, sitting somewhere between okay and ugh. But a few of these 2018 D pennies were struck so perfectly, they could probably make an artist jealous. That means that the ones in top-notch condition? Those are the ones that are fetching up to $1.1 million at auctions. Now, this story actually reminds me of something that happened to me. I remember digging through a jar of coins my grandma gave me, like a ton of random coins, and I pulled out this one penny that seemed different. It was a little shinier than the others, and I was like, wow, this must be special. I showed it to my dad, and he's like, nah, it's just a 1980 penny. It's not worth anything. I thought to myself, well, this penny sure looks like it's about to make me rich. I didn't throw it out, but let's just say, it wasn't the $1 million coin I thought it was. But hey, you live and learn. Sometimes it's about knowing what to look for. The thing with the 2018 D penny is that it didn't look rare at first, just like any other penny. But then, when you get into the weeds of it, the imperfections, the rarity, and the condition make it something extraordinary. If you're lucky enough to have one, you might be looking at a jackpot. So, what makes this 2018 D-Mint Mark penny so valuable? Let's break it down. This penny didn't come out in large numbers with the same error, so fewer of them exist. We're talking about pennies in mint condition, basically, as close to perfection as possible. Coin values can go through the roof based on timing. Who knew the 2018 D would be worth this much today? How do I know if I have one of these $1 million pennies? Great question. Well, it's all about checking your coins. Look for any oddities in the design, like double strikes or die cracks, or pay attention to how shiny and crisp it looks compared to your other pennies. Do a quick search online to see if any auctions are currently listing the 2018 D Lincoln penny, just to get an idea of what's out there. So, there you have it. The 2018 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny might just be the most surprising coin in your collection, especially if you've got one that's been sitting in your wallet for years. Remember, it's not just about the year, it's about those little imperfections, condition, and timing that make some pennies worth $1 million. Now, if you want more tips on how to spot coins worth a lot of money, or if you just want to hear more crazy stories about coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss what we've got coming next. And who knows, you could be holding on to the next $1 million penny and not even know it. Hey there, fellow coin hunters. Imagine for a second, you're casually flipping through a pile of pennies you got from your change jar, maybe something from a snack machine or a soda at the store. Now, what if I told you that a coin worth just 1 cent could actually be worth a cool $1.2 million? Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. And today, we're diving into the mystery of the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Stick with me, because this is gonna be a good one, alright? So let's break it down. We've all seen those pennies we come across every day, the ones we toss in our wallets and forget about, the ones that seem like nothing special. Well, the 1994 no-mint mark penny is one of those coins that could be hiding in plain sight, turning your casual pocket change into a potential goldmine. This little coin doesn't even have a mint mark, which makes it an oddball among other pennies, and that's where the value starts kicking in. And now, most of the time, the mint mark, that little D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco, tells you where the penny was made. But the 1994 no-mint mark penny? Yeah, this one is a little different. It was made in Philadelphia, but here's the kicker: it didn't get that little stamp we usually expect to see on coins. And for some reason, that makes it super rare and desirable among collectors. We're talking about a coin worth more than a ticket to an Elvis concert. Well, it all comes down to rarity and a tiny little error. The Philadelphia Mint usually produces pennies without a mint mark, but this 1994 no-mint mark penny stands out because it is one of those rare, unmarked coins that collectors just love. And let's be real, when it comes to valuable coins, it's all about the rarity. Think of it like finding a unicorn. If unicorns were little bronze coins that have somehow survived the ages without being tossed into the wishing well, first off, there's the error factor. Only a small number of these unmarked 1994 pennies were released into circulation, and that limited supply has caused them to skyrocket in value. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so I've got one of these pennies, should I immediately head to the bank and ask for a loan? Well, not so fast. Just having one doesn't automatically mean you're rich. There are a few factors to consider when valuing this coin, things like condition, rarity, and, of course, who's buying. Now, I remember when I found my first coin that was supposedly valuable. It was a 1970s penny, and I was so convinced it was worth thousands. I'd never been more excited. Turns out, it wasn't worth squat. The coin was in bad condition, had some corrosion, and honestly, I think it just ended up getting lost between the couch cushions. But hey, it was a lesson in patience, and it made me a better collector. So remember, with any coin like the 1994 no-mint mark penny, condition is key. A penny with a nice, shiny, nearly flawless finish will bring in a lot more cash than one that's seen its fair share of dirt and pocket lint. And let's not forget how important a good story is in the world of coin collecting. The 1994 no-mint mark penny is one of those coins that has developed a little bit of a legend. It's not just a coin, it's a mystery. Was it an accident? Did the mint worker fall asleep at the wheel? Did someone forget to stamp it because they were too busy eyeing their lunch? No one knows for sure, but that's the beauty of it. It's a mystery with a happy ending for the person who finds one in pristine condition. If you're holding onto a 1994 penny with no mint mark, or even just a handful of pennies from that year, it's worth a quick check. The value of these bad boys can vary depending on their condition, but if yours is in excellent shape, you're sitting on a pretty impressive coin. Just imagine showing it off to your friends. Oh, this little thing? Just a $1.2 million penny. No biggie. They'll be blown away. Alright, now that you're armed with all this info, I hope you feel like you could spot $1 million penny from a mile away. Just remember, coin hunting isn't all about big jackpots. Sometimes it's just about enjoying the process and learning a little something new. But hey, if you do find that 1994 no-mint mark penny, don't forget me. Maybe send a little thank you note with a picture of the check. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss out on future coin tips, tricks, and treasure hunts. There's a ton of money hiding in your pockets, and I'm here to help you find it. So subscribe, hit that notification bell, and get ready for more valuable coin content coming your way. Who knows, maybe next time, I'll be talking about your coin collection that's worth a fortune. Hey, coin lovers! Now, I know what you're thinking, what's so special about a penny? Well, let me tell you, this isn't your grandma's penny jar we're talking about. If you've got a 1968 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny lying around, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Yup, we're talking about a penny worth, hold on to your seat, $1.3 million. That's right. No, I'm not kidding. This penny might just change your life. But, before you start pulling out every single coin you own, let's dive into why this little copper beauty is worth more than a Tesla. Grab your magnifying glass, folks, this is gonna be a ride, the 1968 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. If you're wondering, why 1968? Well, hold on tight, we're about to get into the nitty-gritty of it. You see, in 1968, the US Mint did something pretty rare, they made some pennies without a mint mark. Most of the time, the mint mark is right there on the coin, showing us where it was produced either in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But, in 1968, Philadelphia didn't add its mint mark to a number of pennies, which was an accident at first. These error coins became incredibly sought after by collectors. That small oversight in production turned this penny into a treasure, literally. The absence of a mint mark is like a little secret, tucked away on this coin. And you know how people are with secrets, they love to find them. These pennies are rarities, and rarity is key in the world of coins. First, let's talk about scarcity. I mean, there's one thing that gets collectors' hearts racing: limited supply. The 1968 no-mint mark penny was produced in large numbers, but only a few ended up being mistakes with no mint mark on them. That means, if you find one, oh boy, you're holding a serious rarity. It's a needle in a haystack, my friend. And we all know, once a coin becomes rare, it becomes valuable. People are basically willing to throw piles of cash at it, especially when it's tied to something historical. This penny, in particular, has seen a massive uptick in value over the years. That's because it represents both a mistake in minting and a piece of history, a penny that shouldn't have existed. Kinda like a superhero origin story, right? It's the underdog that rose to the top. But the value of this penny didn't just happen overnight. No way. It took time. A lot of collectors spent decades hunting down this error coin. And now, well, it's not just a penny. It's a golden penny, in a way. Now, let's talk about the nitty-gritty details. If you have a 1968 penny, here's how you can figure out if it's the holy grail of pennies. First things first, check for that mint mark. If there's no mint mark, you're off to a good start. But it doesn't stop there, condition is everything. Just like with most coins, the better the condition, the higher the value. So, if you've got a penny that looks brand new, with no signs of wear or tarnish, congratulations, you might be looking at a small fortune right there. Here's the kicker, though, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this isn't exactly the kind of thing you can casually spot. Like, you're not going to find this penny just by looking at a pile of change on your kitchen counter. No, you've got to really pay attention. And trust me, when you do, it's worth it. Speaking from personal experience, I once found a coin from the 1980s that I thought was worth just a couple of bucks, but after some digging and a good magnifying glass, turns out it was worth much more. I felt like I had struck gold. It's the simple joys of coin collecting, folks. I mean, who would have thought? One minute you're holding onto a penny for nostalgic reasons, and the next, you're thinking, should I sell this thing and retire early? So, whether you've got a penny in your pocket or a drawer full of coins, don't dismiss those tiny bits of copper. They might just have a massive value hiding in plain sight. And who knows, maybe your 1968 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be the next big discovery. But remember, finding it isn't easy. It takes a little bit of knowledge, a sharp eye, and sometimes a bit of luck. I mean, when's the last time you went to a coin shop and asked, got any 1968 no-mint marks? Look, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, tricks for spotting rare finds, or how to flip pennies into major cash, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We've got tons of tips, tricks, and fun facts coming your way to help you in your coin hunting journey. And trust me, you don't want to miss out. Because, who knows, that next penny you find might just be worth a small fortune. Stay curious, stay sharp, and happy hunting, folks. Alright, folks, stop what you're doing, take out your change jar, and grab those pennies you've been hoarding since, well, probably since the 80s. Why? Because that small piece of copper could be worth a lot more than you think. In fact, some lucky people out there have sold their 1980 no mint mark Lincoln pennies for a cool $1.4 million. That's right. $1,400,000 for a penny. And no, it's not a typo. I'm not just talking about some weird collector's craze here. This is real money we're talking about, folks. So, let's dive into what makes this little coin worth so much and how you can spot one in your own collection. But before you start rushing to your penny jar, make sure you watch the whole video because there's a lot you need to know. And hey, if you want more awesome tips on how to find coins worth big bucks, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss out on any golden opportunities. So, what's the deal with this penny, huh? I mean, 1980, that was the year of big hair, neon leg warmers, and the beginning of some questionable fashion choices. But who knew, tucked in your pocket or thrown at the bottom of your couch cushions, there could be a piece of history waiting for you. First, let's break down what makes the 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny special. Now, most pennies from 1980 have a mint mark, that little letter near the date that tells you which U.S. mint produced the coin. But the 1980 no mint mark? That's what makes it so interesting. These pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and while most of them are pretty common, a few rare errors popped up. These errors are what could land you a small fortune. We're talking about pennies that weren't stamped correctly or were misaligned, or, in some cases, pennies that were just randomly missing the mint mark, giving them that rare quality. Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if I have one of these rare gems? Well, it's all about the details. First, make sure your penny is from 1980. Trust me, you don't want to get your hopes up for something that's just a 1979 with a little wear and tear, or lack thereof. If there's no D or S on your penny, then it's likely from Philadelphia. But here's where it gets tricky. You gotta look for those subtle signs. A double strike? Misalignment? Off-center minting? These are the things that can send your penny into the money-making stratosphere. Okay, so maybe you're thinking, alright, that's cool, but how do I know if it's actually worth the big bucks? Here's the thing, the 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just rare because of the missing mint mark, it's the condition that really sets them apart. The ones that are in mint condition, with minimal wear, are the ones that fetch those big prices. In fact, if you find one that's in near-perfect shape, you could be looking at that $1.4 million price tag. I mean, a little wear here or there? That's normal. But if you've got one that's practically untouched by time, get ready to become the envy of coin collectors everywhere. Now, I know what you're thinking, yeah, right, I'll just find one of those in my change. But hear me out. Coin collecting is all about patience, attention to detail, and a little bit of luck. It's like finding that perfect pair of socks in the laundry. You're not expecting it, but when it happens, pure joy. Speaking of finding things by accident, let me tell you a quick story. I remember when I first got into coin collecting. It was around 2005, and I was just going through my dad's old coin jar. Nothing fancy, just a bunch of old pennies, nickels, and dimes. I was mostly looking for cool ones to add to my collection. Suddenly, I came across a 1943 steel penny. Now, if you know your stuff, you'll know those are worth a decent amount. I was hyped, thinking I hit the jackpot. Turns out, it wasn't a rare steel penny, but a regular copper one, and while it was cool, it wasn't the one. But still, the thrill of finding something unexpected made it worth it. So, the moral of the story? It's all about keeping your eyes peeled, learning the signs, and being a little bit lucky. And who knows, maybe your 1980 no mint mark penny could be your ticket to a nice vacation or, heck, even retirement. So, there you have it. The 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny is one of those hidden gems that most people don't even realize could be worth big money. Remember, it's all about finding one in great condition, with those rare minting errors. But if you're not sure, don't panic, just keep checking your change, dig through your old pennies, and stay vigilant. And before you go running off to find your treasure, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more awesome tips on finding coins worth thousands or even millions of dollars. We've got plenty more tips and strategies for you. So, hit that bell, leave a like, and drop a comment with your favorite coin hunting story. Who knows? Maybe your lucky find will be next. Hey there, fellow coin lovers. What if I told you that an old penny you might have lying around in your drawer could be worth over $1 million? That's right, today we're talking about the 1960 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, a little coin that packs a big punch in the world of numismatics. You might be thinking, wait, a penny? Is this a joke? Nope. It's real, and by the end of this video, you'll be looking at your spare change in a whole new light. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this one. Hi, I'm Jack, and welcome back to the channel where we dive into all things coins, money-making tips, and the occasional coin-related mystery. I've got a cool story for you today about a penny worth $1.5 million, and it's not one of those stories where the value is based on some mythical rarity or secret mint error. It's a solid, well-documented case that could change the way you view your own collection. Let's get into it. So, let's talk about the 1960 D Lincoln penny. It's not the rarest coin in the world, but it certainly has the potential to make your jaw drop when you see its current market value. We're talking about a penny worth a whopping $1.5 million. I know, it sounds insane, but let me walk you through it. First off, let's break down the mint mark. You know how pennies from the US Mint have a little letter on them, right? That's the mint mark, and it tells you where the coin was made. The 1960 D penny was minted in Denver, which is why it carries the D stamp. Well, here's the kicker: this coin isn't rare in the traditional sense. You've probably got a few 1960 D pennies laying around in your collection, or in a jar somewhere on your desk, and none of them are worth even close to $1 million, right? That's because, like most coins, it's all about condition and any potential errors that make it stand out. The coin that fetches $1.5 million isn't just any 1960 D penny, it's a near-perfect specimen with extremely high-grade quality. We're talking about a coin that's almost flawless, with no visible wear or imperfections. If you find a penny like this in your collection, you might want to get it checked out by a professional appraiser, but here's the thing: finding a mint-condition coin like this is like finding a needle in a haystack. The 1960 D penny was produced in massive quantities, around 1.1 billion coins. So, the trick to spotting a valuable one is all in the condition, and that's what makes this little coin so special. Now, a little side story. A couple of years ago, I was going through my own collection and found a 1960 D penny. It was worn down, had a little bit of discoloration, and honestly, I almost tossed it into the not worth much pile. But I decided to give it a second look just in case. I didn't have the perfect one, but I learned the importance of checking your coins carefully. So, a lesson for you all: don't just assume a coin's worth is determined by how it looks on first glance. You might be staring at a treasure. Like most other valuable coins, it's about finding that perfect match: mint quality, desirable characteristics, and an error that can increase its worth. Some of the most valuable 1960 D pennies have small details that set them apart, like an odd strike or a unique feature in the design. These coins are out there, but they're rare. Now, let's talk about value in the real world. While a typical 1960 D penny might only be worth around a few cents, a rare, high-grade version of this coin can hit the market for around $1.5 million. That's right, $1.5 million for a coin that, in theory, could be sitting in your pocket or at the bottom of your spare change jar. First of all, always check the condition of your coins. The more pristine, the better. Keep an eye out for any of those rare errors that can bump up the value. And don't forget to consult a professional numismatist or a trustworthy coin dealer if you think you found something special. This isn't a get-rich-quick game. It's about patience, knowledge, and a little bit of luck. And here's a little tip: you don't have to start with rare coins from decades ago. There are modern pennies and other coins that have surprisingly high value if you know what you're looking for. It's all about staying informed and educated about what makes a coin valuable. Well, it's clear that with the right condition and the right error, this little penny could be worth a lot of money. And while most of us aren't going to find that $1.5 million coin lying around, the truth is, your collection might just have some valuable coins tucked away in it, coins that could make a big difference when you least expect it. Now, before you run off to grab your pennies and start searching for a hidden fortune, here's a quick reminder: always take your time and be thorough with your collection. You never know what you might have. I still remember the day I found a 1960 D penny that made me stop and think, was it worth something? Who knows? Maybe it's still worth checking out. If you found today's video helpful and entertaining, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more tips, tricks, and strategies for finding coins worth big money. We've got plenty more coin stories to share, and you don't want to miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting, coin collectors. See you in the next video, and remember, sometimes the smallest things are the most valuable. Hey there, fellow coin hunters. Picture this: you're scrolling through your old jar of coins, thinking about how much of a goldmine your collection could be. But hold on, what if I told you that one tiny penny, just sitting there in your pocket, could actually be worth $1.6 million? Yup, I'm not kidding. Today, we're diving deep into the 1997 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, an unassuming coin that could be sitting in your collection right now, just waiting for you to cash in. So grab your magnifying glass, because by the end of this video, you might just be holding on to your next big treasure. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because I've got tons of other tips and tricks on how to find coins that could be worth a small fortune. Let's dive in. Alright, let's kick things off with some good old coin knowledge. The 1997 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny might not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think about rare pennies, but let me tell you, this bad boy is more than just a regular penny. It's got a little secret going for it. But first, let's talk about the basics. As you know, the Lincoln penny has been around for decades, since 1909 to be exact. And the 1997 D-Mint Mark penny, released from the Denver Mint, might seem like just another year in the long history of Lincoln pennies, right? But it's actually become one of those sneaky little coins that collectors just love. You see, in 1997, the US Mint released over 7 billion pennies, and most of them were totally normal, mass-produced coins. But here's the twist: some of these pennies were struck with slightly unusual characteristics, things like off-center strikes, double die errors, or even rare die breaks that make them stand out. These mistakes, my friends, are what make them worth a lot more than 1 cent. And I get it. I mean, back in the day, I thought pennies were just for tossing into fountains or collecting in a piggy bank. But let me tell you, there are stories of people who found a single penny worth hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions, because of rare errors like the one on the 1997 D. For example, the 1997 D penny can be particularly valuable if it has a double die error or certain misprints. Those slight imperfections can turn a common penny into a rare collectible. And trust me, collectors love these types of rare finds. They can drive up the price significantly. So, next time you're going through your jar of pennies, take a second to inspect each one. You never know if one of them could have that mint error. Let me tell you a personal story. I once went through a bunch of old coins I'd inherited from my grandfather. I wasn't expecting anything crazy, just a nice little collection to pass down. But then I found this random penny from the 40s. It wasn't much, just a basic Lincoln. I thought, whatever, and tossed it in with the rest. But when I later went to a coin show, a dealer took one look at it and said, "That's a rare one. Do you mind if I check for any mint marks?" Long story short, it turned out to be worth more than I thought, simply because of a small error on the coin. Ever since then, I've been way more cautious with my pennies. There's treasure hidden in those things, folks. Now, let's get back to the 1997 D penny. So why does this particular penny get the big bucks? Well, like I said, it comes down to that tiny imperfection. The 1997 D-Mint Mark penny is only valuable if it has some kind of special flaw or error. These little differences can make one coin worth millions, while another might only get you the price of a coffee. It's all about those tiny details. A penny with a double die or an off-center strike can drive the price into the six-figure range, or even more. Let's break it down a bit more. The current market value for a 1997 D penny with the right error can fetch up to $1.6 million. Sounds wild, right? But it's true. Just imagine it: one little mistake on a coin, and you could have a jackpot on your hands. That's the beauty of rare coin collecting. It's like a treasure hunt, but you don't have to dig through the dirt, you just need a keen eye for detail and a bit of luck. Well, the 1997 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny is a great example of how something seemingly ordinary can actually be worth a fortune. It's all about paying attention to those tiny details like mint errors, misprints, and other flaws that make a coin stand out. You could have one of these pennies sitting in your collection right now, just waiting to be discovered. Before you go rummaging through your coin jars, let me leave you with a little advice. Take the time to really look at each coin you come across. Those minor imperfections are what can transform a humble penny into a rare collector's item worth a lot of money. And trust me, you won't want to miss out on any potential finds. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips, tricks, and coin hunting strategies, don't forget to subscribe. I've got tons of content lined up, and you don't want to miss any of it. You never know when the next $1.6 million penny might pop up in your collection. So go ahead, hit that button, and keep hunting for those rare gems. Who knows, you might just be the next lucky coin collector to cash in big. Hey there, fellow coin lovers. Have you ever dug through your old change jar, hoping to find a rare treasure, maybe a coin that could make you a small fortune? I know I have, and it's always fun to imagine finding a penny worth millions, right? But guess what? There's one specific penny from 1967, yes, you heard me, 1967, that's worth a whopping $1.7 million. It's like finding a gold nugget in your laundry. But how does a humble penny end up being worth so much? Well, buckle up, because in the next few minutes, we're going to dive into the fascinating world of the 1967 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny and why it's one of the hottest tickets in the coin market today. And trust me, you won't want to miss it. I mean, most of us have seen our fair share of pennies, right? They're the tiny, copper-colored ones that just seem to get lost in the bottom of our pockets or are tossed around in change. But here's the thing, if you've got a 1967 penny without a mint mark, you might just have yourself a treasure. Mint marks are those tiny letters you usually see on the coin, like D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. But a 1967 penny with no mint mark? That means it was struck in Philadelphia, which, as we'll soon see, can actually add value to the coin depending on how rare or unique it is. But what makes this particular penny worth $1.7 million? Let's break it down. The 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is considered a striking error coin. And I'm not talking about the kind of mistakes I make every time I try to bake cookies. I swear, I burn them on purpose for dramatic effect. This coin was created due to an error during the minting process. You see, when the US Mint struck these pennies, there was a slight misstep that made some of them much rarer than the rest. This minting error caused the penny to be issued without its expected design, and well, collectors lost their minds. Imagine being a coin collector back in the day and finding one of these. It's like finding a missing puzzle piece you didn't know you needed to complete the masterpiece of your collection. To put it simply, a combination of rarity and demand can make a coin shoot up in value, and this penny is the perfect example. It wasn't meant to happen, but it did, and now it's one of the most sought-after coins in the world. While it's not always the case, a coin's condition plays a huge part in its value. And the 1967 no-mint Mark penny? Well, if it's in pristine condition, you could easily be looking at $1.7 million. Yes, that's not a typo, million. Of course, the coin has to be graded properly, which means it has to meet certain standards to be considered mint condition, and we're not talking about the mint condition of your grandma's ancient china set. Now, I want to take a little detour and share a personal experience. I remember, when I was younger, my grandfather handed me a jar of old coins he had collected over the years. I thought it was cool and all, but at the time, I wasn't really into coin collecting. Fast forward a few years later, and I discovered one of his old pennies was worth a few $100. I couldn't believe it. Imagine my surprise when I realized I had stumbled upon a rare piece of history. The penny wasn't a $1.7 million one, but hey, it was a solid find, and it sparked my love for coins. It just goes to show that you never know what hidden gems you might be sitting on. Well, they aren't exactly easy to come by, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't keep an eye out. Who knows, you might just be one lucky step away from uncovering a small fortune. So, the next time you're rummaging through your pocket change or cleaning out your old coin jar, just remember, there could be a $1.7 million penny hiding in there. That 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny could be yours, and that's pretty exciting, right? Coins like this are rare, and it's all about knowing what to look for. So, make sure you're paying attention and learning the ins and outs of coin collecting. And hey, if you want more tips, tricks, and strategies for finding coins that could make you a fortune, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join me on this wild coin hunting journey because trust me, there's always more to discover. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, this little guy can't possibly be worth much, right? Well, you're about to be mind-blown because today we're talking about a penny that's worth a lot more than just 1 cent, specifically, the 1982 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, valued at a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. Yeah, you heard that right. This tiny coin could change your life, and trust me, you don't want to miss what I'm about to tell you. So grab your magnifying glass, get comfy, and let's dive into the world of rare pennies. I mean, we're talking about a penny that's over 40 years old, nothing super unusual, right? Wrong. This coin might look like your average run-of-the-mill penny, but it has a secret. This little guy has no mint mark. And that, my friends, is where the magic happens. See, back in 1982, the US Mint was transitioning from copper to zinc in penny production, which led to a little bit of chaos in the minting process. Some of the 1982 pennies, specifically the ones made at the Philadelphia Mint, were produced without a mint mark, meaning there's no little p or any other letter on the coin to tell you where it was made. And that's what makes it so rare and valuable. These little anomalies are like gold in the world of coin collecting. How much could it really be worth? Well, let me tell you, it's worth a whole lot more than your morning coffee. This bad boy is currently valued at about $1.8 million. Yes, million. It's like the rarest treasure hunt that could be sitting in your change jar, or at the bottom of your old purse, gathering dust. Finding one of these pennies isn't exactly easy. You're not likely to just walk into a store, pay for a pack of gum, and get handed a $1.8 million coin and change, unless you're some sort of coin-snatching superhero. Still, the possibility that you could stumble upon one is what makes this whole thing so exciting. So, how do you know if you've got one, like really closely? Some of these pennies might have worn down over the years, making the lack of a mint mark harder to spot. But if you've got a sharp eye or a handy magnifying glass, you might just be able to spot it. When looking through your collection of 1982 pennies, pay special attention to the weight, the copper/zinc composition, and especially the lack of a mint mark. If it looks like something that could be from Philly but doesn't have the P, you might just be holding on to a small fortune. And, trust me, it's worth getting excited about. I had a little experience of my own when it comes to coin hunting. One time, I was sifting through some old coins my grandma passed down to me. Shout out to Grandma for always having cool stuff. As I went through the pile, I found a 1965 penny that I thought was just a regular coin. But as I looked closer, I noticed a slight difference in the color and wear. Turns out, it wasn't as valuable as I thought, but it got me thinking about how even the smallest details could lead to discovering something amazing. So, imagine my surprise when I learned about this 1982 no mint mark penny and its crazy value. Well, as you can see, pennies can actually be worth a whole lot more than their face value, especially if they've got a story to tell, like the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny. The lesson here is that you should never underestimate the value of something that seems ordinary at first glance. Keep your eyes peeled for those rare coins hiding in your pockets, jars, or old change collections. And now, before I go, here's the most important part. If you want to keep discovering these hidden gems and learn how to spot valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and strategies to help you start building your own coin collection that's worth way more than you thought. Whether it's Lincoln pennies, nickels, or quarters, I've got you covered. Don't forget to like, comment, and share with your fellow coin enthusiasts. Let's grow this community of savvy collectors. So, get out there, start searching for those rare pennies, and who knows, you could be the next lucky coin collector to find a $1.8 million gem. Catch you in the next video, folks. Stay lucky and happy hunting.